sense of adventure. You have to learn to treat the bees with respect, calmly, and coolly, with that sort of Zen-like attitude. You see? So it makes you a better person in that respect. And the great thing about getting stung, as Joel will attest, is that once the pain wears off, it's really rather nice. It has an almost sort of narcotic effect. And then it's so good, it's good. But also, when you get these great stories, one of which you can live off, is like a badge of honour. Do you know, the day I got stung doing this or doing that. It's kind of, that's why I like keeping bees badly, is like my other hobby is long distance running badly. Because people don't know an awful lot about it. And they go, oh, you keep bees, well, good for you. It's like running. You can run as slowly as you like. Doesn't matter. People go, long distance runner. Go for it. Good for you. Carry on. You see, so it's, you get a sense of pride doing it. But the bee stings are just giving great stories. I've written about one or two of them in the book. My favourite was with the first colony of bees that I was given. From the man who'd actually delivered the first lessons on beekeeping. He said, I've got a little colony I can give you. It's not a problem. You can have them. And he said, they're lovely bees. They are really well-tempered bees. They're very kind. They won't give you any trouble at all. They were the nastiest, most vicious bees I've had in 10 years. Every time I opened the hive, they'd whoosh right up in my veil. Straight like that. And anyway, I got used to it. But one day I was working, and as usual, when you're keeping bees and inspecting them, if you've got the veil and the suit on, you sweat. And I was doing all this business, and then I noticed there was a drop of sweat on my face. The chocolate was going up and not down. And then I realized, that is, yes, it's another bee inside the veil. It was in my old party trick. Which was fine. And they say, well, I couldn't take the veil off because I had all these angry bees on my face. So I did what they tell you to do, which is to walk under a tree. You walk under a tree, you go into the shade, supposedly the bees will go away. Well, they didn't. And then I thought, that's okay, it'll get dark in a few hours' time, and then it'll go. And that would have been fine, but then I felt this bee crawling around. And then I remember they tell you bees like warm, dark places, of which there are not a whole lot inside a bee veil. There's about 4, if I count correctly, as long as you keep your mouth closed. And it headed around here, and I thought, if it gets inside my ear, it could be really unpleasant. So I'm going to have to squash it, regardless of whether a bee's here or not. And naturally, of course, because the bee has that wonderful eyesight, it saw me coming and it stung me before I managed to squash it. And it stung me here in the cartilage, which is really, really good place to sting somebody because there's nowhere for the poison to spread out except everywhere else. So it hurt like really, and I eventually got the bees off my veil and got home and looked pretty awful, and I had to go to the doctor and take all kinds of drugs. But I had an amazing face, which was, I looked like a cross between Shrek and Charles Laughton in A Hunchback of Notre Dame.